Good morning, everyone. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of the viewers, everyone that sent your birthday wishes and wishing me well. I say thank you to everyone. Look, I just got interrupted just this quick. I have to show you guys this. I got to show y'all my crew. This is my entourage. That's Daffy. That's Sun. That's Chris. That's John. That's Ray. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Oh Lord, the ducks won't let me be great this morning. I'm trying to be serious. Okay. But thanks to everyone for the birthday wishes. I really do appreciate it. You know, a lot of people may say it doesn't matter. It does matter. When you have positivity coming your way, it's always a good feeling. So I really appreciate you guys for that. Thank you. And I'm putting this little clip in here so you can see one small part of my day yesterday. And hopefully you guys can feel what I felt on yesterday. I know a lot of people say, we don't care about your personal life. We don't, care about what bloggers have going on personally. But for me, I feel that if you're going to be following someone or dedicating a lot of time to them, that you need to at least know who or what you are dealing with. So I think it's important to share some things so people can kind of get a feel for who you are. So at times I may share, some things. It's all about building rapport with the people that you are working with. So again, thanks again for all of the birthday wishes. Today I wanted to bring you guys a story that will cause you to look at justice from another angle. And we have to understand that when we speak on justice, it's not always about whether a person is guilty or innocent. It's just about the way that things are being handled, how people are being treated. Was there fairness? Was everything equal? We look at all those things. So I wanted to bring you this story on Alvin Cunard. Mr. Cunard was convicted of first-degree robbery in 1983 after he robbed a bakery in Alabama of $50. Right. I did say that. He robbed a bakery in 1983 of $50, and he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, I know you guys hear this and it sets off alarms, hopefully, that he received life in prison without the possibility of parole for robbing a bakery. But the story is a little bit deeper than that. So looking at it on the surface, that really seems like an injustice, right? A true injustice. And the amount of time that he received, yeah, that seems just ridiculous. So what happened with the situation is, at 18, Cunard had some other charges that were dealing with burglary, receiving stolen goods, and they were felonies. They weren't Class A felonies, but they were felonies. So at the age of 22, he received these charges as well. Well, at that particular time, Alabama was operating under the 3-strike law. So whenever you commit certain crimes, you know that 3rd strike, like baseball or kickball or whatever, you know you're out. And that's what happened to him. That's how he ended up getting a life sentence. So it wasn't specifically about the fact that he only received $50 from robbing the bakery. It was about the actual laws that were in place at that particular time. So he has been in prison since that time. Well, recently he just went to court and the judge resentenced him during this hearing. And everybody was, worried about what was going to happen and was he going to be done fairly. Now, I know I caught your attention by saying resentenced, but what happened at this trial is I think it's David Carpenter. Judge Carpenter heard his case. He let Mr. Cunard state his case. And after Cunard stated his case and Cunard apologized, and accepted responsibility for his actions because he actually committed the robbery. He did the things as well in the past, so it wasn't a question of whether or not he did or didn't do it. The question was about the amount of time that he's had and whether or not, we're looking at people being reformed as a positive thing, because that's what it's supposed to be about. So the judge resentenced him. But let me be clear, it's not what you think. Cunard was sentenced or resentenced with time served. Yes. So it's really not what you think. The judge sentenced him with time served. So he pretty much said, look, you did enough time for what you did. So this man went from life without the possibility of parole to having time served. And he did not get released immediately after court because they have processing and paperwork that has to be done. But he will soon be released. And the thing about this is he's being released not based on him being innocent in this particular crime. It's just about people really looking at the situation because they created some kind of board to go back and do reviews and stuff in that area. But people started looking at the situation and felt like he did his time. He, served the time for what he did. And even his family said that, that he had to be punished for his crime. But they always kept the faith that, he wouldn't be serving a life sentence for what he did. And that he would learn from, what happened in the past. So this did happen. Cunard was sentenced under the Alabama Merciless Habitual Offender Act or law, which is again the 3-strike law. The thing was with him, he's one of many that has a life sentence without parole based on non-murderous and often non-violent crimes. So in 2013, the Alabama Sentencing Commission adopted sentencing guidelines. And if you aren't familiar with the sentencing guidelines, this is the thing that has been put in place by several jurisdictions that dictates how much time you can get and what's the minimum amount of time that you can get. So when you hear us talking about mandatory minimums and the maximum sentence, these guidelines are based on the type of crime that you have, and some other things that go along with it, but they're based on the type of crime that you have, your past criminal history, and there are a lot of other factors that are involved in that. But within those guidelines, regardless of what you did or what the judge may feel about you, they can't give you under a certain amount of time and they can't give you over a certain amount of time. So that means that you and some other person can have the same exact crimes, but depending on what judge you are standing in front of, if the minimum amount of time that you can get for, I'm gonna just make up a charge, y'all. The minimum amount of time that you can get for an attempted robbery, and this is not correct, this is just an example. Let's say that the mandatory minimum was 2 years. So that judge can't give you a year, he can't give you a year and a half, he can't give you 6 months. He has to give you at least 2 years. Now, let's say that the maximum penalty for that particular charge is 6 years. So the judge can't give you 6 years and 3 months. He can't give you 7 years. The most that he can give you is 6 years for that particular charge. So you have to stay within those guidelines. That's why they're called guidelines. So for any charge that's on the book, they fall within some type of guideline so that they'll actually know how to sentence you. With this being done in 2013, it really wasn't benefiting him at the time, because had he been charged by this same law in 1983, then he should have been eligible for release in at least 1998, 1999, somewhere up in there. So, because I think the maximum penalty at that time may have been 10 years. Don't quote me on that now. I'm thinking that that's what it was. So, anyway, sorry with this camera, y'all. But he basically, that's why I'm saying that the judge looked at everything in its totality, and he made a decision based on the fact that you have these new laws that other people are benefiting from, and you have this guy and several other guys that are being held in prison for life, and you have people with far greater charges that have lesser time. So I think this has a lot to do with the judge making the decision the way that he made it with time served. So just wanted to update you guys on that, just in case you weren't familiar with these sentencing guidelines. So this is one of the cases where justice did prevail in the end. And the thing is, whenever people are talking about justice, you know, you may look at what's going on right now, and things may have been done wrong. But if you ever get a chance to try to right a wrong or to make things better, and you see someone actually taking advantage of their ability to do that, then you have to point those things out, because these are the things that are never spoken about whenever we're talking about the system. It seems like in every case that we are being treated unfairly, that people are being treated unfairly, and certain groups of people are being treated unfairly. So I wanted to make sure that this information was put out there, because this is what fairness is all about and justice is all about. You know, you see this guy did this time, you see he committed these crimes, he's admitting what he did, he's accepting responsibility, he has a plan for when he goes out, he wants to be a carpenter. The judge asked during the hearing who was going to support Mr. Cunard. He said that he was going to need a lot of support from family and community, and half of the courtroom stood up. Over half of the courtroom stood up, actually. So this in itself is a success story. Yes, he did serve the time that he did, but he also committed several crimes. The thing was with this is that they were non-violent crimes, and I think the judge took that into consideration whenever he made his decision. So this is where we are right now. So when we talk about justice, again, it's not just about any one particular person. It's not just about any one particular case or how that case was handled. It's justice all the way around, whether it be the perpetrator, whether it's justice for the victims, whether it's justice for the community. It's just about justice all the way around and making sure people do things the right way. So I wanted to address this after bringing you the story about the other gentleman that the prosecutor's office found was actually innocent of a murder, and he's already done the 25 years in prison. And prosecutors are fighting. Prosecutors, y'all understand what I'm saying? Prosecutors, the same people that put him in there, that office is fighting to have him released from prison because it was a wrongful conviction. So there are some things happening, and there are some people that, are trying to do the right thing. And I know a lot of times it looks like with all the negativity and the stuff that's going on and the media spins, it seems like, nobody is getting a break. So I just wanted to put this out there, and hopefully it will encourage someone or some families that may be dealing with something similar to this. And lastly, I saw the story on Twitter. This is what actually brought it to my attention. And I wanted to put it out there because I always go through the comments to see how people are responding to the comments. And what I saw was, after people had read the story, they saw the headline of the story that the young lady had put on her page, and they automatically started making assumptions when they saw resentencing. But once they read the story, saw the video, a lot of people started changing their minds about their perspective on what happened. They started changing their minds about how they view the amount of time that somebody had. And this is what we're striving for. It's not about proving who did the most and what, and it's not about any one particular person. I hope that we all understand that this is not about any one particular person. This is about justice as a whole. And when you start making moves that start making people question their lifelong beliefs, that start making people, rethink or even start thinking about, the justice system and some of the injustices that are being done, then we are doing our job. That's what we are here for. It doesn't get any better than that. So I want you guys to check into this case, Mr. Alvin Cunard, and tell me what your thoughts are on it. We're all about justice. So I want to hear what your thoughts are on it. And if you know of any other stories where, justice did work in someone's favor, I would like to hear those stories as well. In the meantime, you guys have a good one. Thanks again for the birthday wishes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and please share. And I'll see you next time.
Something, yeah. He worried.